It's not every day a big-time CEO quits with a line from a movie, but that's exactly what Glenn Kelman did. After 20 years building Redfin, he decided to step down, and his exit was, well, anything but conventional.
So instead of some stuffy, formal press release, he just posts this: unemployed in Greenland. If you're a fan of the movie The Princess Bride, you get the joke immediately. It was witty, it was self-aware, and it was just so perfectly Glenn Kelman. Right away, you knew this farewell was going to be different.
And yeah, the news itself, it was a bombshell. 20 years. This guy was Redfin, completely synonymous with the brand. And he wasn't just leading the company, he was leaving the entire real estate industry. For anyone in real estate tech, this was a huge deal, like a tectonic plate just shifted.
Okay, so to really get why this is such a massive story, we've got to go back. We need to look at the journey. Because, look, Kelman didn't just run Redfin. He pretty much was Redfin, right from its scrappy beginnings all the way to it becoming a national giant.
I mean, think about this. He literally took a company that started in an apartment and turned it into this national powerhouse. He was one of the very first people to really believe that the internet was going to completely revolutionize real estate. And he built the whole company, its entire mission, around one single powerful idea.
And that idea was simple: make Redfin the champion for the average person. The whole goal was to use technology to drive down costs and make the absolute headache of buying a house just a little less painful. That philosophy was his North Star for 2 whole decades. So this consumer-first mission eventually led to a huge, massive deal. And on paper, it looked like the perfect next step for the company, but it also turned out to be the beginning of the end for his time there. And when I say massive, I mean it: a $1.75 billion merger with Rocket, the mortgage giant. The idea was to create this true all-in-one place for home buyers, a real one-stop shop. And at the time, nobody was a bigger cheerleader for this deal than Kelman himself. In fact, he was out there publicly promising, "I plan on building Redfin at Rocket." This was just a few months before he left. He was shutting down any rumors he was on his way out, saying he was in it for the long run. And that, right there, is what makes what happened next so shocking. And you can see the logic, right? Teaming up with Rocket meant Redfin could offer the whole shebang, from the moment you start searching online to the day you sign your mortgage papers. It was supposed to be the final piece of the puzzle, the ultimate version of that consumer-first dream he'd been chasing for years. But obviously, things didn't go as planned. And true to character, the way he actually said goodbye was just as unique and full of personality as the man himself. It's what made him stand out all these years.
Okay, get this story. The night this massive billion-dollar deal with Rocket finally closes, where is he? He's not popping champagne in some fancy boardroom. Nope. He's at a rustic cabin up at 1 in the morning using a coat hanger to unclog a sink. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It just shows you what kind of guy he is, completely down to earth. So in his farewell note, he lays it all out. He says, look, he's not jumping ship to a competitor. He's actually leaving real estate completely to find a new mission, a new problem to solve. He explained that the big integration with Rocket was done, and he had to ask himself if he was ready for the next long chapter. And for him, the answer was no. And this part of his letter, wow. He tells his employees, basically, if you ever show up at my house and just say the word Redfin, I'll say come on in. That's not something you see in a normal corporate memo, right? It just speaks volumes about the kind of family, the kind of loyalty he built over 20 years. So as you can imagine, his leaving didn't just affect Redfin. It sent shockwaves through the entire industry. So let's take a look at what his peers and, yeah, even his biggest competitors had to say about it. All right, first up, this is from Brad Inman, a huge name in real estate news. He calls Kelman a persistent, never-give-up entrepreneur and says he loves this man. But the key part is his prediction. He says he's not done. Pretty powerful stuff. And then you've got this, from the chief economist at Compass, a major rival, mind you. All he said was, the end of an era. 4 words. That's it. Coming from a competitor that tells you everything you need to know about the kind of impact Kelman had. And the list just goes on. You had Stefan Swanepoel from T360 calling him a true game changer. Clayton Collins from Housing Wire talking about the incredible business he built. And maybe my favorite, from Dan Green at Open Door, nobody has done it like you. Just a huge wave of respect from all corners of the industry. So there you have it. Glenn Kelman's chapter in real estate is over. He built a company from the ground up, he challenged the status quo, and he left on his own unique terms.
His exit leaves this huge void and a really big question for the industry he helped shape. Now that this pioneer is gone, who's going to be the next one to change the game?